Hello, good morning. I'm just going to check that I'm live in the right place, so bear with me for 1 second. Just enlarge my screen so I can see what you see. How are we today? How are we doing? Move that MacBook out of the way. I'm a bit sniffly today, which is nothing new really, but extra sniffly. So thank you for coming by for today's Stampin' Chat. It is Tuesday the 21st of September. Good morning, Vicky. How are you? Oh, I'm sitting on catalogues. That's not a good plan, is it? So yeah, Tuesday 21st of September, we are motoring our way through this month. We've had a good bit of weather here in the UK for those of you that are watching from overseas, so we've been quite lucky. It's going to be quite pleasant, I think, for the next couple of days, cooling down in the evenings a bit. So morning, Ruth, how are you doing? I've got something I need to drop to you, possibly tomorrow. Probably won't be heading out today. Morning, Kay. Who else is joining? Lovely to have you all here. So this morning I'm really excited because I ordered myself the new paper pumpkin. I'm going to remind myself what it's called because I get confused with the sweet. It's Expressions in Colour, and it's back to front. What you'll see is back to front, but it's this one here that's currently available. So it's only available while supplies last. Yeah, I'm excited too, Ruth. I'm not creating anything that has been pre-designed by Stampin' Up, not using any of the products in the box apart from the stamp set, because I just wanted to play my own way with it, and I will save making the cards that are in the box for another live. So I was going to say something and now it's gone. That's typical me. If I don't say it when it comes out, you know me, I'm a waffler as well, so there's not a lot of room for anyone else to get conversation in. I forgot what I was going to say, but oh, Vicky, sorry, just trying to scroll down. It's snowing. Goodness me. So yeah, we've had a bit of brighter weather. I was away at the weekend racing. I went to Donington Park with Jay while he raced. It was his last weekend race. Morning, Jacqueline. How are you? So yeah, I went off with him at the weekend, and Saturday it was really glorious weather, really warm, a little breezy, and the racetrack, it's a GP track, it's right near, I think it's East Midlands Airport. So we constantly had huge planes going right over and through the night as well. So I didn't really get much sleep at the weekend. So I'm feeling like I'm on catch up at the moment. So yeah, and I've definitely got the sniffles, so I could be coming down with something. So I'm just seeing if anybody else is hopping in. Vicky, you've got a few warm days coming, high 20s. Yeah, I think, I haven't looked this morning. Got a feeling Jason looked and he said it was going to be about 20. Little bit cloudier, although the sun is out at the moment, but it's definitely fresh. When I get up in the morning, I always let Alfie out when Jason goes to work, which is usually before 7, and I wander around the garden with him for a bit. This morning I dug potatoes, I picked tomatoes, I picked some runner beans. I also pulled some spring onions that were still just about hanging in there. They were a little dried out, but I had a lovely trug that I harvested this morning at 7 o'clock, and it was a little fresh, but it's bearable. And we put the heating on yesterday on the summer settings, just so that to take the edge off in the evening and in the mornings as well, because we've got really thick stone walls over in the barn and it takes a while for them to heat up, and we wouldn't want the temperature to kind of really drop until we've sort of heated the house up ready for the winter. So yeah, anyway, enough waffle. Let's get down to business. Okay, let's just have a quick look at messages, comments. Thank you all for coming on. Anyway, right, let's turn you down and have a look at this kit. I did share this with some of my VIPs in my VIP group last week after I created our online card class. But yeah, let's have a look inside and then I'm going to get crafting with it. So let's make a bit of room, move everything out of the way. Excuse the palm of the hand. And I have got, moving you still. I've got the window cleaner here, so Alfie might bark when he hears the gravel moving outside. Quite often I'm not going to zoom in for just a minute. I'm going to wait until we've looked inside here. Quite often I move him into the house when the window cleaner comes, but he gets a bit excited inside because obviously he's cleaning the windows outside and he barks. So I thought I'd leave him over here today. I've got the door open. I'm moving you again, guys, sorry. I need a bit of room over to the right. Yes, so I've put the stair gate up at the bottom of the door downstairs just so that he can't get out. Even though the gate is shut, I've no idea when the window cleaner will be going. So I need to make sure that he's safe. So he's trapped in with me at the minute. So he might just bark when he goes. Hopefully he won't. He'll probably just get more excited and make a bit of a whingy noise to let me know that something's going on outside. Okay, lights are on. Let's move some bits out of the way. Let's open up this box. So I haven't zoomed in just yet. Hopefully I'm going to zoom. Have I said hello to everybody? Jacqueline, did I say good morning to you? If I didn't, good morning. Because I've kind of lost the plot already. Right, this kit, it's a new paper pumpkin. Now, not to get confused with our kits collection. The kits collection are separate. This is like a limited edition paper pumpkin kit that has come our way. And once it's gone, which is like the kits that we have from the kits collection. But this is just a one-off. And this is what they have over in the States as a subscription. Sadly, we don't have it, but they've given us the kits collection, which is kind of as good as. So this one here, it coordinates, a little flyer in this one. It coordinates with the DSP from the Expressions in Ink. Let me grab my catalogue. I will show you it after. The stamp set is called Artistically Inked. And there's a bundle, but the suite is called Expressions in Ink. So this is the DSP. You can actually buy this. This is in the annual catalogue. So the kit makes 9 cards. You have full instructions in here. And unlike some of the other kits, we don't have a block in this one. So if you were thinking of gifting this to someone, because it would make a beautiful gift at £20, you will need to either make sure they've already got a clear block or you'd need to supply them one, because this kit has not 1 but 2 stamping spots in here in 2 great colours as well. So we've got Evening Evergreen and Bumblebee. So I wonder, let's just go through it and put things back in. So we've got some mini glue dots in here, which are great because it means then the person receiving the box doesn't have to, sorry, something popped up on my Mac and distracted me. Doesn't need glue or adhesive. You've also got dimensionals. We've got these lovely kind of iridescent sequins that are adhesive as well, and some gorgeous evergreen, Evening Evergreen twine. Move some stuff out, otherwise we're not going to have room. And then we've got some layers from our cards. So as I said, the kit makes 9 cards. So we've got like this alcohol ink technique going on here. I still haven't tried this technique. I need to, but there's always something else to do. And look at the stamps. Let's put them this way around, you'll see them better. I love these stamps. I pulled these out and straight away I wanted to ink them and get going with them. So we've got some really good greetings on here. We've got this lovely floral image and this really great kind of smudgy, like alcohol ink background that you could use behind this image here. And then we've got this gorgeous little like sprig and this cute like little flower that would be great for backgrounds. And then this lovely 4-petaled flower as well. So such a really great stamp set to be included in here. Morning, Janet. How are you? I know you're good because we chat often, but it's always good to ask on the day. Okay, so we've also got in here these cute little labels for putting greetings on, so little banner. They've already been sort of laser cut. And these, what can I put behind these to show you this? I don't know if it'll stand out behind white. Let me find a bit of coloured cardstock. Oh, I've got some black here. Right, I can hear the window cleaner moving on the gravel out there. Alfie's behaving. Look at this vellum. How pretty is it? You could use it from either side. It's much more muted, but from this side you've got a really good like print. So you've got 3 really good size sheets of that. You've got some lovely kind of die cut labels for putting greetings on. Let's just pile this up, otherwise it's going to be spreading everywhere. And then these beautiful laser cut, like leafy sprig. And you've got 3 sheets of those. If I show you from behind, you can see they have been laser cut. And once you've pushed these out as well, you could use this background as a template to sort of use with a blending brush or with a spritzer. We've got some card bases in evergreen, slightly smaller than our standard size. Then we've also got 3 lovely sheets. Let's just get one of this printed vellum as well. So we've got this lovely floral image, which reminds me of the die set. Let me just pull that in. So this is the stamp set that kind of coordinates with it, and this is the whole suite. So it's a huge set. But if you look at the dies, can you see that image is very similar to the die in that set? So I don't have any of that suite. I was very, very tempted, but I have so many other things as well. Some things I've not even managed to use yet. So I need to use what I've got. We've got 3 card bases in Bumblebee. And then these 3 gorgeous layers, which are quite, for want of a better word, in your face for me. But I think I would probably have to cover them over, depending on what the kit says anyway. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to follow what the kits do. And then we've got some plain envelopes as well. So a really good selection of products in here. All of this for just £20, including this fabulous stamp set, which I'm going to use today. Okay, so let's pop all that back in, do it back up, and of course, when you've finished with everything, you're left with this beautiful box. It's got a bit of printing over it, but who wouldn't love a gift? You could put something over there and you could pop a gift in there. Or great, a lot of people collect these. They're great for storing things. Right, let me put down this, see whether we can zoom in. I am praying that it will let me, and it's not. Oh, it is. Thank you, phone. And let's bring in some colours. Might want to come in oh, it's just caught up. I was going to say I might want to come in a little bit more. I might want to go out a bit now. You like the pinky purple card bases, Vicky? Yeah, I don't dislike them because I love the colours in it, but they're quite bright for me. Quite bright. And let's just have, I think we've got polished pink in that kit as well, a bit of polished pink. Right, do I need to zoom out a bit? Let's bring in a card kit and then that will give me an idea. You can see what colours I am using. Oh, my strap has slipped down. I'm just adjusting myself. I think I'm going to have to zoom out a bit. This could be dodgy. Okay, we'll stick with that. I'm not touching it again. Okay, this is my colour combo for today. I've also pulled in some soft suede to ground it all a bit. So we've got Evening Evergreen, Fresh Freesia, Soft Succulent, all in colours, which are just beautiful, and you know I love them. I will be using my Memento, and I've pulled out my blends as well in Fresh Freesia and Soft Succulent. I'm also going to be stamping with my Whisper White stamping pad, and I will be using the painted texture, which is that part of this suite. I don't know if it is. I kind of want to say it is, but I could be totally wrong. Okay, so let's put that over there with my cutting machine and pull out my kits. Get this grid paper down. So how are we all doing? What have we all been up to? Hope you've been enjoying this lovely weather. If you're here in the UK, we've been having some really nice weather, like a bit of an Indian summer. A bit. It's been very pleasant. Now I'm going to need a couple of blocks. Let's find my cards so that I know what I'm doing. Okay. I might need to part my bottom at some point as well to do a bit of colouring. So let's pull out my kits. Now I have 2 whole packs of soft suede in my collection of cardstock, and I don't know, I bought a pack recently and I obviously have forgotten why I bought it. There was a reason. I think I must have been looking at a certain colour combo. And I was rummaging around trying to find a colour to go with these, and I thought that the soft suede just kind of grounds everything. It's a bit like using, you know, a neutral like crumb cake or grey granite, and I really love soft suede. It's a really good colour for masculine projects as well. So what we'll do first is take our base, which measures 8 1/4 by 5 3/4, and we'll just give that a crease. Hello Tessa, how are you doing? Hope you're keeping well. And we'll pop that to one side for the moment. Now the next thing I need to do, let's do this layer first. I'm going to emboss this with my painted texture folder. This is a 3D folder, and by the way, that isn't ink. That was a pinch. I did that in my crocodile. Yeah, ouch. If anybody's done that before, you'll know it's painful, and it's not something I highly recommend. When you are using your crocodile, keep your fingers well out of the way. Okay, so I just need for the 3D folders, the words aren't coming out. I just need the base plate 1 and plate number 4. Tessa, you're ill in bed. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope that you make a speedy recovery and that you're feeling better very soon. I hope it's nothing too serious. I know there are a lot of like coldy flu bugs going around at the moment. I know my mum wasn't feeling too great, I think yesterday. I did have a bit of a sore throat last night, but I think that just happens sometimes, doesn't it? I feel that sometimes we do, you know, if we maybe haven't drank enough, wasn't very good at drinking yesterday. So, but I hope you're feeling better soon, Tessa. Just a bad cold, you're okay. Yeah, we'll just take it easy and don't overdo it, because we're good at doing that, aren't we? We think we're okay, but I'm glad that you're, well, I'm not glad that you're in bed. I shouldn't say it like that, but I mean, I'm glad that you are taking it on board that you need to kind of rest up a little, because I am rubbish at doing that. Don't know about you guys, but I kind of keep going and keep going. I'm going to layer these 2 up. Now, I can never tell which is the right side. I think they both look as good as each other, and I don't think really matters. I would say that was the front. So let's pop a bit of glue. Yeah, I think as we get a bit of fresh air kind of coming our way, we start to pick up colds and things, don't we? But yeah, as I was saying earlier, I'm definitely more sniffy than usual, which isn't good. Right, I'm going to pop that just to one side for the moment. Let's mount up some stamps. I just love these. I think it's such a great set because your greetings in here are really usable. I'm going to put that safely to one side. And I want this lovely image. A couple of these flowers I'll be doing. This teeny tiny little sprig. The word thanks. I've probably gone totally out of shot because I'm a bit lower, a bit higher than I normally would be. And we'll have that one as well for this one. Just pop those to one side. Let's mount that one ready. And this little one. I have another little one there. I think a D block for that one, just to give me, oh, that's not a very clean block, is it? Just grab a wet wipe on that. I think it was only last week I gave all my blocks a nice soapy bath in the sink. Doesn't take much, does it? And then I think I'm going to have a long, yeah, my blocks look quite grubby already. I always find when I've got a long greeting, it's quite nice to use, is this a H block? Yeah, it's quite nice to use, I'm going to give this one a wipe as well, a long block, because then it feels like you've kind of got more control over everything. Don't think that did a lot really. Cleaning. I have cleaned my chamois out this morning, and I show you every time, but it's clean even though it looks grubby. So I've got everything mounted that I need. So let's start with some stamping. So what I'm going to do first, I thought I would kind of not replicate, but if I pull in from the kit, now I've done it all back up, and I've buried them, I just loved this. I fell in love with this as soon as I saw it, and I thought I would try and replicate that. So in our catalogue, we sell the vellum paper. Haven't put a marker on. Let me see if I can find it, because I bet a lot of you actually miss this. It's before you get to the DSP and stuff, I think. I need to sit down and just flick. It's after the DSP. So it's here, vellum cardstock. You get 20 sheets in there for £9.25, and they are A4 sheets, so it's really good value, and it's quite a sturdy vellum as well. It's got quite a bit of weight to it. So what I'm going to do is pull in my white ink, and I got it on my finger opening it. Check that I'm in stock. Oh gosh, my words are not coming out. Check that I am in shot. I'm trying to look at comments as well. Maybe I need to concentrate on one thing. I love that everybody is wishing you better as well, Tessa. That's really sweet of everybody. So I'm going to use this little stamp here in the craft white. Now this is a pigment ink. It is very slow drying, and you have to bear that in mind. And my ink pad is quite wet, so I'm going to do my stamping onto my vellum. So I've sat it on a piece of black cardstock so that you can see what I'm doing, and I'm randomly going to stamp. I'll do the edge pieces after, all the way over. Let's just lift it up so you can see. So it's quite wet, and it will stay wet for a while. So I have done my usual Blue Peter, and prepared one earlier, or not earlier, yesterday, so that I don't have to wait for this to dry. I mean, you could heat it with your heat tool, in all fairness, but it will probably curl it a little bit. What I'm going to do then is just bring in this really scrappy piece. You may not be able to see this, but I'm just going to go over the edges. So where we have like nothing here, I'm just going to like partially stamp to fill the little gaps. Now, it doesn't matter if you miss, if it doesn't stamp properly. It really doesn't matter. Move you out of the way, so that we end up with this lovely background layer of vellum, and that is very wet. As I've said, it will take a while to dry. Yes, Kate, isn't it a cute stamp? I love it. I love little like ferny, spriggy stamps that are great for doing backgrounds and things. So I'm going to set that to one side, and I will use that for something later. Let that dry for a bit, and pull in one that I did earlier. So you can see I had a bit of a smudge moment there. That's totally fine. You're not really going to see it when it goes down. I'm not too bothered about that. So let's start doing a bit of stamping. I'm going to put that to one side, and we're going to mount that onto our card in a moment. Because I'm using photopolymer, I'm going to pull in my mat, and we want some scrap. How beautiful is this? I love the lined petals on this flower, and again you've got these little sprigs coming out as well as leaves as well, so really pretty stamp. I'm going to take my memento. Yeah, vellum, I think vellum is a bit, it gets a bit missed and forgotten about. I do use vellum quite a bit. I love it. And obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but you can colour vellum from the reverse as well with your Stampin' Blends. You could do an outline image and then colour it from the reverse. So I'm just inking up in memento. I am quite close in, but I think we're okay. Oh, I've just realised I've still got the gate up, haven't I? Bless him, he can't go out. But I can't go down and do that while I'm on the live. He'll have to wait a moment. I'm going to stamp a couple of these. Let's do 4. So there are no dies that go with this. It does require a bit of fussy cutting. But you know this girl loves a fussy cutting project. That one wasn't the best. It could have done with a bit more ink on it, but it's really pretty. Really, really pretty. And I need a couple of little flowers as well. Got another scrap here. Oh, guys, can you see that? Just dropped the memento and it went all over my lovely clean grid paper. Never mind. Accidents happen. So this is the little flower. It's quite dainty. I'm just having a wander now. He's like, you've locked me in. Bless him. Won't hurt him. I did run him around the garden before I came live, before I opened up the gate so the window cleaner could just drive in case I was already live. Because normally he would press the intercom, but then that would ring my phone. And of course I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, so I had to open it up. Hence why I put the stair gate up downstairs so that my little man couldn't escape. So what I'm going to do, I always like with the memento, you will have heard me say this before, I like to let this dry for a bit until I start using my blends, because I just feel that it helps to reduce any like blurring, or what's the word the brain has gone. Bleeding, that's the word I was looking for. So what I've done, just going to grab my little pot. I have stamped a couple already that I know are fully dry. And then I'm going to quickly colour these in. So I've got fresh freesia, light and dark. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think there's a great deal of difference. The dark isn't impressively dark compared to the light. But for what we're doing, it's going to be fine. So I'm going to colour in, just really quickly, the petals on the flower. I do love a bit of colouring with our blends. They're just beautiful to colour with. I'm sure you've all tried them by now. You hear me raving about them all the time. They're just great. And obviously if you haven't tried our blends, you purchase them in a colour. They don't come in every colour that we hold, but they come as a set. So you have a light and a dark, and they're £8.50, which I think is a good price for, I'm not going to colour the middle of that yet, which I think is a good price for alcohol markers. So the other two I've got are my soft succulent, so we've got light and dark. So I like to colour with the bullet tip. What about you guys? How do you colour? Do you like the brush tip or do you like the bullet tip? I just feel like I have a lot more control with the bullet tip. The other end, I'll show you it in a moment, the brush tip is great for getting into small little places, but I just feel I've got more control. Hope you can see. And then what I'm going to do is just with the darker, just go over that centre line as if to create like a bit of shadow. And then I'm just going to add a little kind of touch of colour to these sprigs that are coming out. I don't always colour everything in completely. Like those little sprigs, I don't mind that there's maybe a bits of white showing on them. I don't mind that. And then on this one here, you can see I've totally gone off the edge, but that's fine because I want to just colour in like the top set of petals on here. So I'm just kind of doing every other petal on this one. So what did we all get up to on the weekend? Kay, you like the bullet tip. Yeah, I think you said that last time actually, it does. You've got kind of more control over the colour coming out, haven't you? So that was my light. With the dark, I just want to add like a bit of colour coming out from the centre, and I'm going to colour the middle darker as well. So it's nothing kind of crazy. You could blend these two together a bit, so then you go back with your lighter and kind of blend that in. But I just feel with this colour there isn't a great deal of difference between the light and the dark. Okay, so I think that's all the colouring I need for the moment. I might go back in and see if I can add a bit of colour to the centre of this bit again. And then while we're here, while we're taking a little seat, it's nice to sit down on the job. Let's just quickly colour in. You can see I am not being particularly fussy with my colouring. Doesn't matter if I go out of the edge. It's quick colouring. Doesn't need to be. We'll go in with the darker into the centre, and then maybe just like a little bit like that. And then I might just pull like these two areas together and we'll see how that comes out. I'm no colouring expert, honestly. Just want to go back in over that centre and see if I can deepen. I don't even know if this works by going back in after. Don't know if anyone else can comment on that. If you let it dry and then go back in, do you get a deeper colour? I'm sure it won't blend because the ink is then dried. So what I'm going to do is trim. I'll trim those after. Let's do stamping while I've got this mat and then I can remove it. Right, another product I'm using today. I don't like to pull in too many things, but I am only using the stamps from here, really, an embossing folder. But then I'm using these. This is the set of dies, the Meadow dies. They go with the stamp set. Now I've caught myself. Harvest Meadow. Oh. Let me look it up. Somebody shout it at me if you are. It's completely gone out of my head what it's called. And without knowing what it's called, I can't look it up quickly. I want to say Harvest Meadow. Oh, I just found it. Quiet Meadow. So it coordinates with this stamp set. I don't have the stamps yet, which it is really pretty because look at that splat. And that script, that would make great backgrounds. But for now, I have the dies because I just love these dies. They're beautiful. I'm going to use this one for my greeting today. So let's find a scrap of white. Give that a bit of a curve. And I think I'm going to cut it out first. So let me just cut it. Put all the white plates back on. Because my stamps are photopolymer, I can see directly through them. Let's get those bits off of my plate. If I was using red rubber, just push that out, I would stamp first and then line my die over the top of it. Just going to close up my white ink. But because I'm using photopolymer, I can see exactly where I'm going. So I'm going to use my Evening Evergreen, which is dangerous for getting inky fingers. And then you saw me mount up the Thanks stamp. I love this. It's a really good size. I love the font. Line that up with a bit of lineage on the grid. And don't breathe for a minute. It looks a bit wonky. It's okay. It'll be okay. I think it's just maybe my eyes. It's not too bad, is it? So we've got the Thanks, and then I haven't cut myself any skinny strips today. Good job I've got some in the wings. I mounted up for everything. So let's just try and aim. Get this one on here. You might catch a bit of my hair coming into the camera. Not bad. Move that ink out of the way. Thankfully, Facebook didn't throw me out today, so I can read your comments properly. I can see them. As you comment, they scroll. So I'm just going to snip off the ends. I really love Evening Evergreen just as a colour for stamping greetings because it's not black. The other colour I probably would go for would be Early Espresso because they just work with everything. Okay, let's start mounting. Oh, let's cut first. Let's cut. I'm going to put those to one side because I will need those in a minute. And let's start with this one. So little bit of fussy cutting. To be honest, you don't have to be as intense with your fussy cutting. You could just not go in and out of all the nooks and crannies and just cut like a smooth edge all the way around it, and it would still look beautiful. So I could fussy cut all day. In fact, when we went away racing at the weekend, I took loads of work with me to do, and I sat in the motorhome for most of the weekend, cutting, making notes, cutting kits, I mean, and then I did quite a bit of fussy cutting, which I just love. So I'm just trimming around. Nothing too tricky. If you're joining, please say hello. It's nice to know who's here. And then on this one, I just want to cut out this centre flower, and I'm going to cut, I'm not going to leave a white gap on this one. I want to cut as close to the black line as I can. I hope this is in shot. I think we are. And I'm just cutting right close to that black line. I don't really want any white showing around the edge on this occasion. And I'll show you what, if I have missed a bit, I'll show you what I'll do. I'll just colour over it with the Stampin' blends to take the eye away from it. Just go back over that bit. Won't throw those away because I could use those leafy parts on something else. Hello Bridget, how are you? Thank you for joining us this morning. And then we'll just trim around these two flowers, which are a little bit more of a fiddle because they are smaller. So when you're cutting around small things like this, you need to make sure you've got a bit of cardstock around the edge to hold on to before you start, before you get going. And I can leave a white border around these, that's totally fine. So yeah, this weather, as lovely as it is, I don't know what to put on in the day, in the mornings, because the day, like yesterday, it was really, really windy. It was bright and it was sunny, but it's like, is it t-shirt weather? Do I need something on my arms? And I am quite a cold person as well. I find the cold, so I quite often need something on my arms, even if it's not that cold. When everybody else is hot, I'm the one who's always whinging that it's cold. Not good. Okay, so we've got our elements cut out here. Let's start building up. Right, so these two that I mounted earlier, move my chair back out the way. No time for sitting down just yet. I'm going to put these onto my base. I can give you the measurement. I've got Tombow on me then. I believe my soft suede is 3 3/4 by 5 3/8. And then I've just taken off 1/8 for the white layer. So 3 3/4 by 5 3 for the soft suede, which will make the white layer 3 5 by 5 1/4. Okay. And as I've always said as well, when you're embossing, particularly with a textured embossing folder, a 3D embossing folder, you may lose a bit of width. So before you stick layers together, just check that the layers still fit. Because you may get like a bit of shrinkage and it'll be shorter on one side once you've run it through your folder. Right, the next thing I'm going to do, so this little piece that I stamped onto, I'm going to hover behind it a piece of soft succulent. My soft succulent is smaller. It measures 2 inches by 3 7/8. And then my vellum is 2 1/8 by 4 inches. So it's just a little smidge bigger all the way around, because I just wanted that look. I didn't want it to be a snug fit like that. I wanted it to overhang and just have a little bit of a border around it. That was my plan. So what I'm going to do first, I'm just looking at my original. is pop this one down with some mini dimensionals, and then we'll add our vellum to it. Now, the thing we need to remember with vellum is that if you add adhesive to it, it's going to show through, okay, because it's transparent. So what I try and do is just hide that with something that I'm sticking over the top. So I think this is just going to go down here. I'm just going to grab a drink. Got a dodgy throat. And then my vellum is just going to sit over the top like this. But I don't want to, as I just said, if I applied Tombow all around the edge of there like I would with a normal layer, when it dries it's going to show through and it's not going to look very pretty. So what I'm going to do is pop my greeting down here so I can hide, I can stick behind here if I show you. So I know my greeting's going to go down here. So if I put Tombow here underneath, just like that, and stick this layer on, now it's going to wiggle for a minute, it's going to be a bit slippery. Let's just have it straight. Just let it dry for a minute. Oh, it's wiggling all over the place. Trying to get an even border. That'll do. Can you see that? And that will dry similar to that. It will still look like wet underneath. But because I know I'm going to pop my greeting here, then I've hidden it. And even though this then is still kind of hanging around in there, not down, when I put something up here, I will add some adhesive behind. I'm going to pop a dimensional over the part that's going to overhang, and then a bit of Tombow to stick it to the vellum, because we added a dimensional over this side. So we're going to pop that down. Somewhere like that. Somebody's snoring under the table. Still looks a bit crooky. Maybe the layer underneath is crooky. And then while we're there, we're just going to add for everything. Now I've got some, he's moved. He knew that I was talking about him and he's looking at me now as if to say, how dare you tell everybody that I was snoring. I'm just cutting a little skinny strip from here, and I'm going to pop that under the bit that's going to overhang on this side again. Just checking I put that on the right side, and then a little bit of Tombow to anchor it down, and then we'll just have that one there. Then this layer, we'll give it a bit of curl on the edges where the leaves are, and I'm going to kind of turn the flower back the other way, so it's kind of like bending in a couple of directions, and just add a bit of Tombow to the centre. You're all quiet this morning. What are you all up to? And we'll pop that one over this side like that. And then what I can do is lift this up gently, and then behind the flower here just add in another bit of Tombow just to hold down this vellum layer. Okay, so that's kind of secured it in place, it's not going to go anywhere. And then I thought, just to give this flower a little bit of something extra, we would kind of do a bit of decoupage. So we need to find the way that it goes, which would be that way. Pop a mini dimensional down in the centre, and just lay this one over the top. And this is where I said, if you get any white, can you see here, there's a bit of white overhanging. I'm literally just going to pull out my blend and just go over that, and it will kind of camouflage it into the layer behind, because it's fresh freesia behind. So I've just layered that in there. And then to finish, the two little flowers, just add a bit of Tombow to the back. And we'll pop one up there, one down here. And you could put these anywhere. If you made a bit of a smudge with your stamping, then you place flowers like this strategically. And the other thing I've used, just to finish off, are these. Now, they are from, I put a marker on my page. They're from the ephemera pack. It's called the Expressions in Ink ephemera pack, and it's this here. It's really pretty, really beautiful. And you get these lovely adhesive backed sequins in here, and they're kind of iridescent. So sometimes they look purple, sometimes they look almost clear. And we just pick up, where's my take your pick? There you are. By the way, do you remember this it got a bit loose and kept falling out? I've wedged a glue dot in there to hold it, and it's done the trick, because I don't tend to take that out that often. So little trick, if yours gets a little bit slack and keeps falling out like mine did, just pop a glue dot in between there and it'll hold it for a while anyway. Right, let's just pick up a couple of these. Oop, that one's hanging. This is just half a pack, by the way, as well. And then there we go. I haven't put anything in the centre of the flower. I just thought I would keep it plain. But you could do a bit of splatting on this. So it's quite fresh. I like the kind of grounding of the soft suede, even though I've not used soft suede anywhere. We could have coloured in these leaves, I guess, in soft suede to bring it together. Could have done one of our greetings in soft suede, actually, thinking about it now. But I just feel, rather than it being like green to tie in, the soft suede kind of just grounds it a little. So there we go, that's the first card. It's such a beautiful stamp set, honestly. I would buy this kit, even if you wasn't that keen on the other things in the kit. I would buy this kit just for this little stamp set. I love it, absolutely love it. Okay, first card done. As my original, pretty much the same. My vellum did go a bit kind of wobbly. Can you see that on here? And I did have it drying over in the Velux, and maybe the sun got on it a bit, but I'm not worried about that. I don't mind it being a bit wonky and wobbly. So yeah, that's the first one. I was really pleased with how they turned out. Let's do another. I might have a third one for you as well. So same colour scheme as usual. We're sticking with the same theme. We're sticking with the same products. We're going to kind of do the same but different. So this time I've gone really brave and gone for a soft suede base. Thank you, Kay. You like my card. Thank you. Ruth, you think it's beautiful. Thank you very much. I just love this little stamp set. It's great. And especially with Christmas coming, bear in mind our kits. They are great gifts, and they're, you know, really good price point. The kits collection that include stamps and things, they're £18, and then we've got some lower priced ones at, I think, £11.25. That include, like, no stamps are included, but really good kits as well. So I've got, well, now I've got my base down. I've got a top layer here in basic white, which will be 3 3/4 by 5 3/8. And then I've cut a piece of soft succulent, just an 1/8 smaller again. So exactly the same size. Looks different on this one, but exactly the same size as these two layers, but just different colours. And we'll mount those up in a minute, but first I wanted to use another stamp in the set, and I haven't mounted it yet. And it was this one here, because it's lovely. It's a lovely textured one. Oh, I've got a block out ready. So you can see if I mount it, hopefully you can see like that it's already got texture built into it. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can see, but I can. You can see like little dots in it. And all we're going to do, let's bring back in the mat. Let's switch the evergreen for the soft succulent. And we're going to ink this in soft succulent. And I'm just going to do a little row on top of each other. Looks like a fluffy cloud, doesn't it? It would be great as a cloud. Just sort of overlapping them slightly so that we end up, you can see the depth and the texture. I think it's so clever how they do that. So I've just created myself a little background. I managed to get ink on it at the same time. Look, that was when I moved the ink pad, but that's fine. It won't probably be hidden, but you won't really see it. You're not going to notice it. Okay, the other thing I need to do, yet again, I have stamped these two ready. I only need one of these. And I need my two flowers. What else do I need? A greeting. Let's take another scrap, and I'm going to cut again from the Meadow Dies. I'm going to cut this one, but I also want this one, which is gorgeous. Let's see if this skinny strip, oh, that could be a bit tight. Is that one wider? Let's find another scrap. It's just a bit wider. We'll use that one. I'm going to trim that off because once that, if I put all of that through my cutting machine, it will mark it. It will like ingrain on it, print on it, the marks on my cutting plate. So I tend to only run through the pieces that I want to cut with. So we'll have that one and that one. Grab the top plate. Cut that a bit fine, didn't I? Be okay. And just run that through really quickly. Oops, that one moved, it's fine. These Meadow Dies are, they're going to be really useful for backgrounds and things. Look how beautiful that is. Let's push that one out, we don't need that. Beautiful. Put those away so they don't get lost. Oh, wasted that, didn't I? I used the edge piece of that for something. These get, now that I have ordered some new plates, but where this gets rough, everything tends to stick into it. So put that to one side. Put my plates back on, and then I always know they're going to be there when I go to find them. So while we've got this out, let's stamp the word thanks again. We use the evergreen. Start with our little label straight, because it always helps. Check I didn't get ink on me then. Then I just need to colour in these really quickly. I am a bit conscious that when I sit down, I'm not as close to my microphone, so I'll try not to waffle too much and talk a little louder. So just really quickly, I'm conscious that when I'm colouring, you've got a job to see what I'm doing because my hand's in the way. Just really quickly colour this in. I was colouring in with my crumb cake blends at the weekend, and I think I've almost ran my light one dry. So that's something to bear in mind, that these, they're like a felt tip pen. They do not last forever, they will run out of colour. But they do last quite a long time. I personally think they're great. Just colour these in really quickly. Then, just trying to think. I'll have a look in a minute. I don't know whether I might have cut one out already. I probably didn't. I think that was just for my final project. Let's leave the lid off there a moment. Just pull in the dark. And then I'll have a quick look. So I'm just like adding a bit of sort of colour to the centre, just where you would expect to kind of see shadows. So like on these petals underneath. You could then like pull those colours together. I just, like I've said, I just feel this colour doesn't, the dark doesn't stand out as much from the light as it does with some colours. Like the difference between, let's just show you. So this is the dark. I've mixed my lids up now, that's why I'm confusing myself. And this is the light. So it is paler. Let's put the right lids on because it's a quick way to tell that you're using the right colour. So you can see there is a difference. But I think when you're colouring in things like this, it doesn't stand out as much. So now let's just compare that to the soft succulent Ruth. You cut some out on black and put against brightly patterned DSP and looked great. You were really pleased with them. Is that the meadow dyes? If so, yeah, absolutely beautiful. So this is soft succulent light. And this is the dark. So do you see what I mean? There's quite a gradient there. Quite a different degree of colour. But I don't know if you can see that either. When I'm standing up, I can sort of, got a bit of an idea of what you're going to see. Right, let's just add a bit of darker to the centre of these. Put a couple more dots in there. Colour in the leaves quickly. Yeah, the meadow dyes, they are beautiful. Have I got light? That's dark. That's trying to read and do at the same time. We'll be using the meadow dyes at the retreat. Hope I've put that on the list that I sent out. Just colouring in the big leaves really, really quickly. And then with the dark, I'm just going to draw that line in, just so it kind of stands out a bit. Not going to like go fussy and blend them. And then with the dark again, just these little sprigs, just to make them pop out a little. That will do. And then I'm just going to check in my pot whether, no, I need to cut it. I need to cut. I've coloured some in for my next project, but not for this one. So let's just quickly cut around. Hello, Kim, my lovely. How are you doing? Nice of you to stop by and say hi. Hope you're doing okay. So we're just playing with the, oh, I'm going to get my words muddled up now probably, expressions in colour the paper pumpkin kit. But I am just using the stamps. I'm not using anything else from the kit. I pulled a bit of inspo from the kit. But I'm just using the stamps. So I kind of took the colour inspo from the kit and the vellum, the lovely printed vellums in there. I took an idea from that as well, and I've created my own, which you will see in just a moment. Yeah, it's nice to have you for a live. I'm glad that you're well, honey. That's good to know. Right, let's just fussy cut around these little fiddly ones. And then we'll get this card going. I've got another card that I wanted to make. As I said, I've done most of it already because it was a bit of a last minute thing, but it's going to be my entry for the Global Design Project for this week. So each Monday, they bring out a challenge. I've entered a couple, but I've been a bit hectic recently and haven't managed to make the last couple of weeks. But I thought I could do something with my projects today that I could enter into it. So no, I haven't. I don't have the suite. Is it called Expressions in Ink? I don't have anything from the suite. I'll show you what we made just now. What I made. So this is the card that I shared just now, and I've literally, from the kit, I've just used the stamps. So the lovely florally images and the greetings. So I just think this set has got some really good pieces to it. Absolutely love it. So yeah, I'm not touching anything else from the kit whatsoever. Not today anyway. Right, fussy cut those. Let's just give this one a bit of life. Like that. And we can start putting together. So on the last one, I used a piece of vellum and I stamped with the teeny tiny, yeah, it's the paper pumpkin kit, Kim. Use this tiny, which is covered now in craft white ink, but I use this tiny little sprig. So it's this one here. And I stamped with my craft white onto vellum. This is one I did yesterday because I've let it dry fully. But I did, if you catch up on the replay, you will see me do the first one. So this one is ready. And then I've just taken that kind of lovely alcohol-y ink smudge and managed to create a little smudge of my own down there. We'll do something with that, I'm sure. We'll hide it somehow. We can start pulling all of this together now. So let's just mount up. Make a bit of room, mount these two up. And I want those to be over on the left. Smarter, not harder, yes. I learnt that phrase from a very wise woman in Stampin' Up. My lovely friend, Michelle Last, once said that to me when we were chatting, and it stuck with me. Which is why you'll see a lot, especially when I come on here, I use one set. Well, not always, but if I make 2 or 3 cards, I'll try and use all the same size pieces. And once I make one design, I kind of roll with it and it goes further from that one design. So I'm just mounting that onto the soft suede. And then I thought for this one, we'd pop in this lovely meadow die cut. And all I want to do, it's alive. I'm going to add a teeny bit of Tombow up there. And then a teeny bit down here. And I'm going to pop it over where I stamped this kind of background onto. And next I'm going to pop on my vellum. Now this is where I'm going to be savvy, and I'm going to line it up, that little finger smudge there. I'm going to line it just so it touches it and you won't see it. On my original, I think I'd pulled this over this way a little bit, but for the sake of the smudge, we'll try and hide it. Okay, so we were talking about vellum earlier and about sticking it down. I'm going to hide my adhesive behind my greeting. So let's put a couple of dimensionals behind here. I think it warrants 3, this one. Because we don't want it sagging in the middle, do we now? Oops, backing, trying to come away with me. So let's hold this in place where we want it to be. Let's come down a bit so I'm in shot. My camera's very high on my grid today. Do I want to go a bit higher? Let's go there. I'm just hiding that little smudge, and I'm going to pop this one just down here like that. And then all I'm going to do is pop some adhesive behind there. There's a daddy long legs in the window. Going to pop some adhesive behind there and lay it down so that you won't see it. Yeah, that daddy long legs came in last night when I came over to do a little bit of work. I'd been over to have cuddles with Teddy. Bless his little heart, he's so tiny. So, and see the girls as well, obviously. And we didn't get back until late, so we had dinner, and then Jason wanted to unload the cars. So obviously I came over and did a bit of work, or should I say play. And the doors were open downstairs. Obviously it's getting dark now, about 8 o'clock, and the daddy long legs came in. I'm not scared of daddy long legs whatsoever, but I'm not really a fan when they start flying around by my face. And this one was being really annoying, but he's still in here. I can hear him. He's in the window. I'll let him out in a minute. Yeah, don't mind daddy longs. I know a lot of people are petrified of them. But to be honest, since we've lived here, the spiders that we find in the barn, daddy long legs is nothing in comparison. Sometimes it's hard to find a glass big enough to get round them. And can I just add that I have become the spider catcher. Jason calls me to get them now. He's not scared, but he knows I'll do it because I just want it gone and out. And it's that time of year. Shh. Especially, well, they're probably holding off for a bit because of the warm weather. They're going to wait. It will be delayed in a couple of weeks. We've had a few in, I'm not going to lie. We've had about 4, yeah, big ones, Kim. Had about 4. One, I went to go to bed one evening, plugged my phone in as I bent up to pull all the cushions off of the bed. There was one sat on the top of a pillow. I'm not kidding. It was like that. Quickly ran and got the glass because we get loads here. Ran and got the glass and the card. I've got a card that I keep, bit of card that I keep with it. And I managed to get it, thank goodness, before it ventured into the bed. But we get a few slugs and snails here as well, yeah. They like getting under the lid of the hot tub. We lifted it up because we need to change the water. We lifted it up last week and there are about 5 slugs underneath on the lid. Ugh, I'm not a fan of slugs. Okay, as I've waffled, I've actually finished. I'm leaving it at that. So we might just put a bit of these sequins on the flowers, maybe just to finish. I mean, I quite like the centres of these little flowers. Yeah, they were all on the lid. I think they were liking because we haven't turned the hot tub off in the summer, we've just turned the temperature right down, so it's still kind of warm under there. I think they were enjoying it. Where did that one go? There? No, these sequins fly. Maybe that was it. Let's just pop these on and then we'll call it done. So there we go. I think this could have done with a bit of splattage on it as well. Thank you, Kim. Kay, you don't like spiders or daddy long legs. I don't mind. I call, you know, the really flimsy ones, I call those fairies. They're fairies. They're just, I would pick one of those up by the leg to get it out if I needed to. But to be honest, there's quite often one in our shower. I think they like the moisture, so they come in for a drink. So I just shower with it. I try not to get it wet, obviously. But thank you, everybody. So yeah, just quite simple. Maybe I should have put my vellum up a little bit higher so that the background stamp came down a little bit. But what would be nice maybe is cleaning this bit of evergreen and then maybe stamping a couple down at the bottom, but I'm not going to do that now. So yeah, another one done. You can just see on my original here, this is what I've been following, had a little bit more overhanging at the bottom. So my final one, hope you've enjoyed that. I'm loving play. This is my first play with the stamps from this paper pumpkin kit, and I just love it. So let's bring in final card. How are we doing for time? Oh, 11:17. We're rumbling on, aren't we? I've done a bit ahead of time, so I've already mounted my embossed layer. And I'm not following anything, but now I have to remember what the sketch looked like. So this I'm going to do for the Global Design Project, and I highly recommend you go over and have a look over there. There are some great designers, and they have guest designers as well. And as I've said, each week they have a challenge, and it could be a colour challenge, it could be a sketch challenge. This week it's a sketch challenge, so I am going to create my card following from their sketch. They have Case the Designer challenges where you can pull colours from that design, you can use the sketch, whatever you like. So bits and pieces, much the same as what we've done. So I've already stamped this one ahead of time because of it drying. And I think the layout, the sketch called for a band across here. Now I wished I had taken a picture. I think I know how it went, I think. So what I'm going to do first is lay this one down, and then I can pop my pieces on top and get that vellum down without having any adhesive showing. Pull the backs off. I love how easily the backs come off of our dimensionals. And we'll pop that one down. Oh, not there. Down in the middle. Like that. I think that's roughly in the middle. And what I'm going to do exactly the same and layer this one over the top. Now, is this the same? So this is the same layer as well on my previous cards. Okay. And then I've done a little bit of work ahead of time because you did not want to see me, oops, not using you, colouring all of these in and cutting them as well. So I've done some ahead of time. I've also die cut myself one of these lovely labels with these like open-end scallops. I mean, scallops and stitches, it's just a dream, isn't it? And I think the greeting went somewhere here, and then the flowers went around it. Wonder if I can look on my Mac. Let me just have a quick look. I've got it. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Okay, so basically, I thought we could have one flower here, maybe go in that way, one up here, and one down here. I think that'll work. Let's start with this first. Now, I pulled out the lovely congratulations, which I've stuck back on there a bit wonky. And I stamped it on a little skinny strip using the Evening Evergreen. But I thought, because it was too long to go on here, if I hover it over, can you see it's just too long for this lovely label? And I could have used Sending Hugs, and I wanted to do something different than the thanks because I'd already used that a couple of times. So I thought if I did this on a skinny strip, I could cut myself some little banners on the end. So let's just grab my triple banner punch and just cut a little fishtail on each edge. I don't know whether I might need to trim this a bit because I've not measured it, it's just a scrap. Put you to one side. I'm not fussed. Oh, that'll be okay. It's quite long, but I'm not bothered about that. And I want this to go. Let's just have another look at that sketch. It's kind of in the middle, the greeting. In the middle. But I'm going to have mine slightly over there to the right. I think that will be allowed. And add a bit of Tombow. And just pop that down. Got a bit of fluff there. Over there to start with. Just check that it's straight, looks a bit crooked. And then behind that layer, a bit more Tombow just to anchor this down. Thanks, Kim. Yeah, I thought it was three elements that were added. Oh, still a bit slippery. The vellum is quite slippery with the Tombow. Let's just hold it for a minute. Let's just be patient. Getting aware of time, which is why, like for my third project, I always, if I do a third project, I do most of it ahead of time. And then we'll just layer up with the congratulations. Now, I don't know if I'm going to pop that on yet more dimensionals. I'm going to keep it flat, otherwise this is going to cost like £20 to post with all of these layers on. And I'm just going to pop the congratulations so it's centrally inside that banner, like inside this box, like that. And one of my flowers, I've not coloured in the centre because I've done what I did on the first card and I've fussy cut around the centre. So let us just take the bone folder, do a bit of curling, and then we can set these down. Of course, there are lots of other ways you could colour in these flowers. You don't have to use blends if you don't have blends. If you've got watercolour pencils. Let's put this one first. And I think I'm just going to pop these flat down on. Another quick look at that sketch. I think it'll work, whatever. There's no real... Do I want it that way? Do I want it that way? I do not know. Don't think it really matters. Always do it, don't I? Stick it down and then pull it up. I just suddenly thought I want the foliage coming out. And then this one, honestly, I make myself laugh, is going to hang down over here. I'm hoping this is going to be balanced enough. But do you know what? It's a card, it's made with love. It doesn't matter. So I'm just like curling up those petals, bending them up a bit and over, just so it pops up out of my card without adding too many more dimensionals. Let's figure out which way it goes. Pop a bit of Tombow. And then stick it down on. Now you can see, if I use my pokey tool on here, you can see these white bits where I didn't quite cut so well. So we'll just do what we did last time. Bring in the pen. Yeah, for sure, it will bring a smile to somebody's face. And just go over that white edge, and it will just kind of disguise the fact that my cutting wasn't that great. I think I'm just going to leave it at that. I was thinking I might add some of these to the centres, but I quite like the little dotty centre on here. What do we think? Dotty centres. Let's just curl those up a bit. Now I've moved it. I thought it was quite pretty. Fresh freesia is pretty in itself, isn't it? So that will be my entry into this week's challenge. What number is it? It's number 310. So if you go over to Global Design, let me just check, global-design-project.com, then there's always a weekly challenge. There's loads of inspiration over there. And take part. It's fun taking part in something. I was a winner the first time I took part. I actually won it, and I got to be a guest designer, which was really, really lovely to do. So let's bring in the other cards. Let's push all these dark ink pads out of the way. So we did that one, and we did that one. So quite pretty. Vicky, thank you. You can't wait to play with the kit. I know, I will get playing with the kit. I've got loads of kits to get cutting. I've got a team training this week and an in-person class in the studio on Thursday. So I've got some kits to get cutting later, but maybe this evening I might get a chance to maybe ink up a couple of the cards in the set. So thank you, Ruth. Thank you so much. Kim, yeah, the challenges are really great, aren't they? And sometimes if you're having a bit of a mojo moment, that's all you need to kind of get you started, is a bit of inspiration or a colour challenge or something. So, right, before I go, I need to remind you that we are motoring our way to the end of Celebration, dare I say it. We have just 9 days left. We have lots of beautiful free items available in here. Yeah, Kim, you're part of the team. I know, it is fabulous. It's a great inspiration. I absolutely love it. So, yeah, lots of lovely free gifts still to be had with £45 orders and £90 orders. And I just thought I'd run through quickly a few things that I've done using some of the free products. So the Bedazzling, which you know has featured in a lot of my projects, I have used it a lot. So the Bedazzling paper is a lovely, lovely one. I am going to hold my hands up and say there's a few of the Celebration project products that I've still yet to use, which is quite sad. There's some that I've used that I haven't shared with you, some of the DSPs. So, of course, the dahlias are absolutely beautiful. Done quite a lot with those. And again, this features the Bedazzling paper. Then last week I shared, so that's Delicate Dahlias. That's free with a £90 order. Last week I shared the Summer Shadows, is it? Just checking, yeah. Summer Shadows dies, teamed with the stamp set. So beautiful dies on there. And then of course we cannot forget the sheep. The counting sheep. I kind of showed those right at the beginning of Celebration. And what I love about these is that you've got each item. So the stamps and the dies you can split on 2 separate purchases. So the stamps are free with a £45 order, and then you can place another one, and the dies are free as well. So of course, if you're spending £90, you can get them both in one go. But if you're spending £90, you need to be thinking about joining my team, because that is the best deal. And we have a great offer on at the moment where you can choose a free bundle worth up to, I want to say £54, could be more than that. So definitely not to be missed. If you want to find out more about that, please get in touch. But let's bring back in these little beauties. And then I'm going to bid you farewell, grab a cup of coffee and get cutting. That's all I seem to be doing at the moment, is cutting. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by this morning. It's been lovely to have you. Absolutely love this stamp set. And don't forget, you cannot just buy the stamps. You have to get yourself this kit, okay? It's the Paper Pumpkin Expressions in Colour. If you go to my online shop, you will find it on there. So thanks everybody for chatting with me and keeping me company this morning. Kim, thank you. Yeah, we've been very lucky with the celebration, haven't we? We've got some beautiful products available. So thanks everybody for stopping by. Kay, you are welcome, and thank you for your lovely comments. I'm going to go now because I find it hard to say bye, because I just want to stay with you all and hang out all day with you, but I've got to go. There's work to be done, and I need to open that gate so that the little man can go out and stretch his legs. So take care, everybody. I will be back with you all very soon, and thanks again for stopping by. So bye for now.